Triggers, written by Robert J. Sawyer. Fade in, superimpose over blackness. E pluribus unum, out of many, one. Exterior space, night. The sun rises behind a rapidly spinning Earth. Dawn sweeps across the planet, its leading edge a wall of fiery, white-hot energy. Just behind this wavefront, each city flares up in turn, a nuclear holocaust spreading across the globe. The planet wheels out of view, leaving blackness. Superimpose the day before. Interior, statuary chamber, Lincoln Memorial, day. The top of a giant marble panel with the Gettysburg Address carved into it. 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth. Tilts rapidly down past the rest of the text to find two men, tiny before the huge panel, looking up at the great words. One is Seth Jerrison, the current President of the United States, 50s, white, trim, athletic. The other is Secret Service agent in charge, Daryll Hudkins, 39, African-American, Bluetooth receiver in his ear, and a twinkle in his eye. Behind them, the giant statue of Lincoln glows as orange light from the rising sun streams in through the colonnade.
And the government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
A solemn moment while they consider the words. Then,
but your speech is good too, Mr. President.
Jerrison regards Daryll and bursts out laughing.
How much do we pay you, Agent Hudkins?
Not nearly enough, sir.
Jerrison puts a fatherly arm around Daryl's shoulder and leads him toward the statue of Lincoln, their footfalls echoing. No one else is present. The President spots a candy bar wrapper that has blown in through the colonnade. Thinking nothing of doing so himself, he bends down, picks it up, and shoves it into his pocket. They arrive at the base of the statue and look up.
Mighty big shoes to fill.
Daryll indicates the statue's left foot, which sticks out a bit over the edge of the pedestal.
Looks like a 32 triple E to me, sir. I'm here all week.
Jerrison gestures out the colonnade at the National Mall, where a crowd has gathered.
I could use a good warm-up act.
At the sound of more echoing footfalls, they turn. Past the panel with the Gettysburg Address is a small elevator lobby for handicapped access. Crossing from it to them is Secret Service agent Manny Cheung, 40, Asian, stocky, friendly.
Mr. President, they're ready for you.
Knock him dead, sir.
Jerrison pantomimes shooting Daryll with his index finger by way of goodbye and heads to the elevator with Manny. Daryll turns and looks back up at Lincoln, and Daryl's handsome features grow serious. He tips his head in respect. Exterior, Lincoln Memorial Day, continuous. Leading up to the memorial is a lower flight of wide cement steps and an upper flight of equally wide marble ones. Between them, a landing with a podium bearing the presidential seal. 4 Secret Service agents are positioned on the upper steps, and 3 more are on the lower ones. Daryll exits the statuary chamber, walking through the colonnade out into the sun, his long shadow trailing back to the great emancipator behind him. Exterior, National Mall, day, continuous. The sun rises behind the obelisk of the Washington Monument, which casts a shadow onto the reflecting pool. TV crews face the Lincoln Memorial. Thousands have gathered, some with protest signs such as "Make Our Country Safe Again." Exterior, Lincoln Memorial, day, continuous. Daryll strides down the upper marble steps from the statuary chamber to consult with Secret Service agent number 1.
Phalanx beta in place, sir.
Very well.
Daryll walks down to the lower cement steps to speak to Agent Susan Dawson, 30s, white, athletic, with a mischievous grin.
How's it going?
I could have used more sleep.
It was worth it.
That it was. Phalanx Alpha is set.
Daryll gives her a fist bump. Interior statuary chamber, Lincoln Memorial, day, continuous. The closed brass elevator door. Interior elevator car, Lincoln Memorial, day, continuous. The car is empty. Tilts up to the car's roof. A servicing panel moves aside. Gordon Danbury, 28, lowers himself through the opening, a high-powered rifle slung over his shoulder. Exterior, Lincoln Memorial, day, continuous. Daryll stands alert on the lower flight of cement steps.
Prospector is moving out.
Copy. Stay sharp, everyone.
President Jerrison strides to the podium. Exterior, National Mall, day, continuous. Most of the crowd cheers. The protesters shout angrily. Interior statuary chamber, Lincoln Memorial, day, continuous. The elevator door slides open. Gordon Danbury emerges. He looks across the statuary chamber through the colonnade to the Washington Monument. The steps leading down from the Lincoln Memorial, the landing with the President on it, and the crowd are all below Danbury's current line of sight. Exterior, Lincoln Memorial, day, continuous. Jerrison reaches the podium. The audience grows quiet.
My fellow Americans, it has been a week since the latest ISIS terrorist attack on our soil. Our thoughts today are with the brave people of Chicago, just as they continue to be with the proud men and women of San Francisco, who still reel from the bombing there, and with the patriots of Seattle, devastated by the explosion that recently shook their great city.
As Jerrison speaks, we see the destruction in Chicago. The Sears Willis Tower coming down, San Francisco, the Golden Gate Bridge being blown up, and Seattle, the Space Needle being destroyed.
A century and a half ago, Abraham Lincoln mused about whether our nation could long endure. But it has endured, and it will continue to do so.
Interior Statuary Chamber, Lincoln Memorial Day continuous. Danbury drops to his belly and works his way forward across the marble floor, passing the statue of Lincoln.
The craven acts of terrorists will not deter us. The American spirit is indomitable.
Exterior, Lincoln Memorial Day continuous. A fly buzzes around Jerrison. He tries to ignore it.
Each year, the foes of liberty gain new weapons of destruction. But each year we, the free peoples of the world, gain more power too.
Interior Statuary Chamber, Lincoln Memorial Day continuous. Danbury slides along between two giant marble columns.
We shall not rest until our planet is free of the scourge of terrorism.
Danbury reaches the edge, the steps dropping down in front of him, revealing Jerrison's back. Danbury aims his rifle.
Before I became your president, I taught American history at Pepperdine. If my students could take away only a single lesson.
Danbury silently mouths Jerrison's words as the president speaks them. He's memorized the speech. Exterior, Lincoln Memorial Day continuous.
I always hoped it would be the famous maxim that those who...
Interior Statuary Chamber, Lincoln Memorial Day continuous. Targeting sight, the precise center of Jerrison's back. Danbury continues to mouth the words.
fail to learn from history.
Exterior, Lincoln Memorial Day continuous.
Are doomed to...
Danbury slowly squeezes the trigger.
Repeat it.
As he says it, Jerrison twists slightly to flick away the fly, and then bang! He's hit, slamming into the podium. Interior Statuary Chamber, Lincoln Memorial Day continuous. Satisfied, Danbury opens his jacket, revealing that he is wearing a dynamite suicide vest. He presses the trigger. A massive explosion fills the screen with white. Exterior Iraq War Zone Day. The white screen fades, revealing the aftermath of a different explosion. This one from mortar fire. Another similar explosion occurs farther off, followed by gunfire.